Heya folks, how's it going? My name's Lexi and I really love tabletop games. So much so that I started a little review show here on YouTube called The Gaming Table. Here on The Gaming Table, we review one new tabletop role-playing game once a week, every week. I try to do so in under 10 minutes so I can find your next game. If that sounds interesting to you, I encourage you to press subscribe and keep watching today's video. For today's review, I went out on a little bit of a limb and picked out a game which got some mixed reviews. I found this pretty intriguing, so I wanted to take a closer look. This is The Sprawl by Hamish Cameron. As I understand it, this game was written as partially a response to another game called Shadowrun. I haven't had an opportunity to take a look at Shadowrun, so I'm not going to make any commentary or comparisons between this game and that particular game. If you would like to see a separate review of Shadowrun, let me know and I'll see what I can do. The Sprawl is set in a cyberpunk future run by mega corporations. The characters tend to be down on their luck and desperate for money. Also present in this setting are high-tech body modifications. In this game, characters can acquire and have new tech installed into their body. This does require the help of a trained medical professional, and if either the professional is slightly rusty or the tech is not quite up to standard, it can have negative effects on the player characters and non-player characters around them. Characters in this game seem to be able to wield a lot of power, but one slip up and there's another desperate soul out there to do the job that they couldn't. In a game where the characters feel very disposable, it can be quite a challenge to want to connect to these characters and invest in them as you play. It can be a real bummer to make a character you're really keen to play and then have it die the next session. It does also feel like in this game manual that your characters aren't necessarily proactive in this story. Rather, they tend to be on the back foot and reacting to things happening to them. I did like how in each playbook there's plenty of customization to make a character feel unique and your own. The game doesn't necessarily provide you every single detail of what life is like in the universe of The Sprawl. It doesn't give you a lot of hope. The gap in wealth between the elites and the ordinary person is even greater than it is today. This is another powered by the Apocalypse game. For most tests in the game, players will roll 2d6, add the results together, then apply a relevant modifier. 6 and below are non-successes. 7 to 9s are successes with a potential cost or consequences, and greater than that, a success with no complications or an extra potential boon. Building your character in this game starts by choosing a playbook. These provide the overall shape to your character. In this game there are drivers, fixers, hackers, hunters, infiltrators, killers, pushers, reporters, soldiers, and tech. You then need to give your character a name and a look. Then thirdly, you assign your stats. In this game, you don't get a lot of variety of what your character's base stats can look like. Rather, the customization options come after this step. When you start out in this game, your modifiers for your rolls range from a +2 to a -1, so that's not necessarily the widest range. The customization comes through choosing what tech your character has modified their body with, or any particular special moves that they have. There are moves in this game that are available to every player, and then there are some moves that are exclusive to a particular playbook and you have to choose to take on that move. Then you choose some gear, a background, and a directive. A directive is kind of your character's motivation, why they're doing what they're doing. Lastly, you choose links, which is how your character relates to other people in the world and any particular unique relationships they have. This game manual claims that this tabletop role-playing game is a mission-based game. These characters have been brought together because they need money, and they're desperate enough that they are willing to do less than entirely legal things for it. Every mission that the characters go on has a timeline and a countdown clock. If you don't achieve your goals by the time the timeline or the clock runs down, the mission fails automatically. I think this is meant to help motivate the player characters to keep moving forward. For myself, I think this can put a bit of undue pressure onto the players, and I think it could discourage some players from making interesting decisions rather than the most efficient decisions. In my opinion, and from what I read about this game a little bit online, I don't quite think this tabletop role-playing game plays to the strengths of Powered by the Apocalypse. Powered by the Apocalypse generally, in my experience, works really well for character-motivated stories, but if you include things like a countdown timer, you're not necessarily going to have the opportunity to dive into those character or story beats when they arrive. From a couple of the reviews I scanned online, it seems a couple of people agree and think that this system tends to rush the player characters towards the end, rather than enjoying an unfolding story. Something that's interesting to me is I think this game is almost reaching towards the Forged in the Dark system. This game was published in 2015 when Blades in the Dark was on Kickstarter, and I somewhat wonder if, had Blades in the Dark come out earlier, would the Sprawl have been made with Powered by the Apocalypse, or would it have gone with Forged in the Dark, which to me feels like a much more natural system for this concept. I don't quite think Powered by the Apocalypse quite fits the story that this system is trying to tell. Perhaps one day we could have a revised edition of the Sprawl that finds a system that's a bit more suitable for what I think it's trying to achieve. It's a bit difficult for me to say who this game would be for. Fans of Powered by the Apocalypse games would probably feel rushed by this system. I'm not sure if people who enjoy the genre of sort of dystopian science fiction would get a lot out of the Sprawl. Your characters are highly disposable, so if you want to invest in a character and see them fight against the system, you could be disappointed. There are some interesting things in this manual that I would like to see explored further, such as the transhumanist angle. A physical copy of the Sprawl is around $30 US. I happened to get lucky and find a copy secondhand on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I'm glad that I got a secondhand copy. If though the game does intrigue you, it might well be worth checking out. I like the concepts in this game manual, but I don't think the game quite achieves what it sets out to do. But what did you think? I also want your opinions on this shirt. If I can, I do try to pick like an outfit that kind of matches the vibe of the game. And this one looks like a bunch of like neon symbols or neon lights. I also like it because this is a shirt I made. I sewed it to wear to Christmas lunch last year. If you get up really close, I've got heart-shaped shell buttons, and it's all sorts of like neon sign things like headphones. A fabric that was printed in Japan, and I managed to find a place that ships it to Australia. I actually liked it so much I got the fabric in another colour and I made the exact same shirt but in pink. Anyway, my boasting aside, what did you think of the Sprawl? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're there, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way YouTube will tell you when I've next uploaded. If you really like, you could share this video with a friend or visit my Ko-Fi page. All interaction really helps this channel keep going. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!